All right, I get asked about Fedor and Frank Mir all the time. And so we're in a tournament for Bellator, for the Heavyweight Championship. 8-man tournament. I'm in the tournament, and one thing I thought was helpful is I was first. So I got through my quarterfinal, move on to the semis. Other two guys on my side is Frank Mir and Fedor Emelianenko. So I'll take on the winner. And I don't know. I really don't know who's going to win that fight. I don't even know that I have a strong opinion. I think, first off, I love the fight. I think this is a fight that could have, should have, would have happened all the way back to about 2003, 2004. These guys were both world champion. Fedor was in an organization called Pride. Frank Mir, UFC champion, a couple of occasions. And people always wonder, what if you could get these guys together? So Scott Coker has finally found a way to do it. So the fan in me wants to sit back and enjoy it, but the competitor has to look at this fight and try to find, you know, how am I going to deal with one of these guys? Because I'm going to be dealing with one of them. And I'll tell you it like this. I'm not ready to write Fedor off yet. And I hear some of those things said about him that, you know, maybe his better days were behind him. But one thing he's always had in common with those fights he's lost at heavyweight was significant size. And I don't know that people give enough understanding. He's not 6 feet tall. He weighs in consistently at 236 pounds. And some of those really big guys that he had trouble with, Bigfoot Silva comes to mind. You remember that fight? Bigfoot got on top of him, smothered him. Even the Mitrione fight where they both set each other down, but Mitrione is so big. And I don't know if there's ever any credit given to Fedor for taking on those big guys that did have some size and power that put him in bad positions. The relevance for me, I don't have that. I'm not one of those big guys. I'm not 6'6" and, you know, cutting down to make the limit. So I wouldn't have some of those attributes. So I'm just not ready to overlook Fedor. And then for Frank Mir, there's a couple of Frank Mirs. I think they're both very good, but they're significantly different. I'll remind you, he was the heavyweight champion of the world. He went on vacation. He got in a motorcycle accident. If I remember right, he was on a motorcycle and got hit by a bus. But he was out for a while. There was even talk that he may never fight again. So when he came back after that layoff, and that's the only layoff he's ever had in his career, but he stumbled over and over and over. I think a 4-fight losing streak before he stretches out Brock Lesnar and, you know, makes his run back to the top. So if you compare that layoff with the fact that he's coming off another layoff, this one without an injury, I don't know that they're apples to apples. But when you're in my shoes and you're studying these guys and you're trying to guess and pontificate about who's going to come out on top, I think that's got to be a clue. So, you know, let's see. Let's see which Frank Mir shows up. And again, I'm not quite ready to overlook Fedor.